This is a super basic, you could see, kind of an animatic where we're doing a couple of things. Oh, it says it like that. We're moving, and we're keyframing, and then we're also using the onion skin. So this would be a way to set up an action. Well, I could start with a new project, right? So we could just do that. We've got options. Typically the full HD 1920 by 1080 is what we want. We could change our frame rate to 12. You can keep it at 30, but you just need more space in between your drawings. But 12 is pretty standard in the industry. So let's create that. We've got our blank screen, right? Just like with a lot of Adobe, Command minus and plus is our zoom, but you also have zoom with the Z key. Spacebar is our ability to move the canvas. If I'm going to do my knife cutting through an apple, I'll probably want to create an apple layer. B is brush tool, right? So let's say I have, and again, we're just roughing in, a nice little apple here, so we know where everything exists, right? With our period and comma, we can move frame by frame, which is very convenient. And then, of course, we have two abilities to insert keyframes right here. If I insert a blank keyframe, it's going to give me a blank nothing, right? So if I want to move this apple, say, from left to right in about 15 frames, if I insert a keyframe, it preserves that drawing, right? So let's say in 15 frames, I move it, and then let's say I could turn on my onion skin as well and see just where everything exists. So let's say at some point, I want it to be, I'll insert a keyframe. And this is tricky because with my selection tool, if I'm not careful, I can alter things. But if I click again, you can see it allows me to move it. So let's give it a little, path. Kind of goes up a bit, right? So one of the quick ways, which sometimes is to your advantage, to move things is to just create a basic classic tween, right? So we've animated and sort of, I'll turn the onion skin off. Not an ideal way, but for basic movement, this is what we're going to use. So the apple's at rest. We're going to have a knife slice through it, and then we're going to have a second half of the apple over here. So let's say our action is, I don't know, like 10 frames, maybe less, the chop. So instead of inserting a keyframe, I'm going to insert a blank keyframe. So it's preserving the apple up until this point where I can, turn on my onion skin again and come in here. I could push B for brush, right? And sort of redraw like, okay, this is what the chopped apple looks like. And it's got little seeds in here. You know. It's a nice chopped apple, maybe like a bit of edge. So turn off the onion skin. Okay, not ideal, but and then again, if I want to preserve the apple, so it's 35 frames in total, it's the keyframe, right? Not the blank, because I don't want to redraw it. Okay, so it stays. Second thing, I'm gonna, have a knife. So we drew this organically. We used our brush tool. The other way to draw is with our line tool, right? So if we grab our line tool and create our knife. You guys can see this, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roger.
So if it crashes again, I'm gonna cry. This is the V tool, right? This is my selection tool. So I'll come in here and manipulate some of these. It's good not to leave anything untouched. So that looks good enough. Let's move that knife. So right here, we'll insert a keyframe. We don't really need to redraw the knife, right? It's a pretty solid object. So at this point, we've kind of chopped right through it. Right? And if we turn on our onion skin again, we can manipulate our knife a bit. Give it a little swivel. So our knife is pretty static, and then chop. And just like with the apple, moving the apple, right? We'll just see what happens if we apply the same tween. And what do we get? A knife that goes chop. Okay. Chop. Okay, and if we want to speed things up, of course, we just squish. And squish. Let's see what that does. And chop. That's better. So let's put the other, half of the apple. Let's say it begins here. B for brush. New apple on top. Right. Skin. So about here is where the new apple slice again, and then let's have the apple slice lay wide open here. Alright, it's got its seeds. You can sort of see the other side of the apple, and we could even put it at rest even more. It's got a wider view. Seeds. And let's see what we get. Chop. Okay, we didn't draw the bottom of the apple here. Nice. Okay. And if we wanted, we could, give it a little more of an interesting action with one more layer of, apple juice right about here. We've got apple juice, right? Inserted. Now this gets annoying, right? Clicking all this. So we can also do some keyboard shortcuts for this. Oops, I did the wrong thing, right? I gotta insert a blank if I'm redrawing. Turn on my onion skin. You can see there's some apple juice. So we've got our action blocked, ready, pretty quickly to go in and redraw some rendered apple slices. We've, very quickly animated in a few different ways. Right, we're using the tween tool to move pretty solid objects. We're using the onion skin to redraw, which is key. It's harder, slower, more difficult, but it's really the redrawn, keyframe, hand-drawn moments that are going to be your highlights. So you can do this activity, this specific action, or anything really. And then what we'll do next week is take something like this and put it in a more final state, right? A more fully realized knife object painted and the apple slices as well. Okay?